Buenas, buenas, buenas. How are you? It has been a while since I have gone live, and I have to apologize. I was supposed to go live Saturday, and I changed the time, and then it didn't save. So I hope some of you were not waiting for me Saturday. Really don't know what happened, but this is kind of an impromptu live. It's probably been a few months, probably over 5. But I missed you guys. I wanted to say hello. I'm getting back into the groove of things. It's going to be a bit noisy tonight because it's rush hour and I live right on Avenida Balboa and I'm near a traffic light. So you're going to hear some honking. But once I get into the groove of doing lives more consistently on Saturdays, that shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from. Hello. Is that Jules3462? How are you? Where are you tuning in from? So this is kind of going to be a quick one. I am so late. This is like my 3-year anniversary, and my 50th birthday was July, August. But because of life and traveling and getting back into the groove of stuff here, I was like, let me quickly jump on here, spend some time with you guys, and then kind of celebrate my 3 years in Panama and being 50. Can you believe it's been 3 years that I've lived here? So 4 years with my permanent residency. You're in the element, okay, and 3 years living here. So let's see. We have Washington, D.C., one of my old stomping grounds, Tampa, Florida, Panama City. Hello, hello, hello. So one of the things, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. I'll answer them at the end. But one of the things I wanted to discuss, hey, Cali girl. Thank you, Stockbridge, Georgia. Thank you. Back in Tejas. You're doing the thing, Cali girl. I kind of wanted to discuss like my life in Panama and not just my life, but life in general. And people are always like, what is it like? What is it like living there? And I try to show it with my like day in the life or week in the lives. But for me, like I'm a homebody. I don't go out that much. And when I do, I'm just kind of running errands. So I take you along with me for the errands that I'm running. These past few weeks, I've been going out a lot. And it's starting to like take its toll on me. But I'm doing an upcoming video on various expat or immigrant events to show you different things you can do here if you don't speak Spanish, for example. A lot of expats here will put together various events because they felt like they were missing something from back home. So the point of that is you kind of make the life that you want here, right? It's your life to live. But if you're missing something like soul food or, I don't know, a New York pizza, no, I'm joking, but like create it. And I think that's the beauty of removing yourself from the life you knew and kind of starting over in another country. You kind of get to recreate yourself if you want to, or stay the same. A lot of us end up going through a lot of healing while we're here. Either because people were tired and they had more time to think, or they took a sabbatical and you have more time to analyze stuff, or you're realizing you're no longer living under some of the conditions that you were accustomed to in the US. So there is a lot of healing going on. And it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch. So this morning I recorded a video, another what I wish I knew before moving to Panama, with another couple. So that should come out Sunday for you guys. And they also interviewed me for their channels, the Brooks. And one thing that I wanted to kind of take from that discussion is the planning. I feel like when I came, more people, it was more of the retirees or the people that kind of planned for a while to move here. And now it seems like there's a rush. There's a mad dash, not just from the US, but like Europe, certain parts of Africa, so everywhere, right? Panama is the spot. I'm sorry, if you have a question, let me change this. Put a Q in front of it. It'll make it easier for me when going back through the comments. So there's a different type of mentality from those that planned for maybe a year or two to move here, and those that are like, I'm doing this in a couple months, a couple weeks, right? And the reality of you're now in another country kind of hits you. And if you're not fully prepared, it can be a lot of wasted money. Things happen. People go back to the US for various reasons, but we want you to come here and be successful, right? So if you're scared right now, or you're like, I have to get out of my current situation, I have to get out of the US, or I have to get out from whatever country you're in, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, embrace it. But also do your due diligence, right? You don't want to rush and get the wrong apartment. You don't want to rush and spend money on the wrong attorney. Like, you want to research and vet people to the best of your ability. So I really, really wanted to hone in on that for you guys, whether you're here or not. I had my permanent residency here a year before I moved. And that gave me time to kind of build relationships. That gave me time to come back and forth. And that gave me time to kind of learn certain things. Now, not everyone's going to have that luxury. But what I'm emphasizing is it gave me time, right? So if you don't have time, move with intention, move with diligence, your due diligence, and move with confidence. Now, when I say move with confidence, it's scary, y'all. Like, you're moving to another country. No ifs, ands, or buts. One of the things they asked was, did I feel brave? And I didn't think about it until they asked that question. And it is a brave thing to uplift your life and move to another country. But you want to do it responsibly. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that a bit. Let me go to the chat. All right, we have hello, DC, Tampa, La Ciudad de Panama. Hey, hey, hey. I don't know if you guys remember my video with her. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, she's back in Texas. You're quite welcome for the information. Are you renting your place? Moi? Yes. I've been renting ever since I came to Panama. I am hesitant to own. I have trauma from the US. But I'm kind of hesitant to own here right away because I'm still learning Panama. There are certain laws, rules, like your mortgage, it has to be paid off. Like, they won't give you a mortgage, I think, unless you can pay it off by a certain age. And it might be 70. Don't quote me, but like, we'll use 70 as an example. So that gives me 20 years to pay off a mortgage if I'm not paying cash. I don't know the laws for owning here. And I'm still learning the neighborhoods. Like, if I buy, I want it to be the right neighborhood for me. So that means understanding it during holidays, understanding how it is during the rainy season. There are various aspects to owning here that I'd want to like do my due diligence for. So I've just been renting. I've lived in 3 different places, and each place I've learned something else. Like, okay, I don't want this for the next place. Greetings from Florida. Ah, really? Can you tell us more about that in the chat? Oh, you weren't talking to me. Ha ha ha. You're asking him is currently being rented. Okay. Well, I just answered that for anybody else. Yes, thank you. Drop kick the like button. She says that on her channel. Hello, Spotsylvania. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I went out a lot, I'd say over the past 2 weeks. I attended some events held by Black expats in Panama. I went to some, like an old school Sunday for soul food. I went to a Caribbean day that's held every Saturday. I went to a networking event. Like, I've been going out, and you can run yourself ragged here trying to attend all of the events. But it's great because if you choose to go out, well, one, watch your budget. Watch your budget. But there's always something to do. You can find community. You can dibble and dabble. And when you go out to these events, you meet various people, new people, old people. It's like a reunion. Or you might find out about something else that's going on. So I'm kind of waiting for 1 or 2 more events to happen before I put that video together for you guys. But if they don't happen soon, I'm just going to get it out. So what stage are people in on their planning process? Some already here, some went back to the US. Are you working on your residency? Are you scouting Panama? Are you still doing research on Panama? Let me know in the comments. And let me know if you have any questions. I'm probably going to go live again on Saturday, and I'm going to choose a topic for Saturday to discuss. So if you have ideas that you want me to cover, let me know in the chat as well, and I'll try to do that. I really, 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 really want to be more consistent with this. Not just for you guys, but also for myself. I feel like when I'm live, like a couple months here, a year later, it's not consistent, and it doesn't serve either of us. So let me know if you guys have anything. Okay. Where did you say your place was? Was it the Element? I'm going back into the comments. PH Element. Element. Okay. Yes. That was an Element. So this place is on Avenida Balboa. It is walking distance to the Panama sign. Do you know, I've never been in that building, and I used to live next to it, kind of. There's so many buildings I have to explore. All right, they're starting to come in. So the first scouting trip is in November. That's very exciting. That's next month. Do you have places in Panama that you're looking at or you're targeting? Like I went big when I did my first scouting trip, although I'd been here twice before. I went kind of all over the country. I started in Bocos del Toro. I went to Boquete, Pedasí, Coronado, Gorgona, and then I ended up in Panama City. Did I skip one? I think that's what I did. Let me go back up. I got my temporary visa in June. Look at that. So how does it feel like having your temporary visa? Like, it's a big deal. I don't want people to like minimize obtaining a visa in another country. It is a big deal, and it's a privilege, and it's a huge step. And I know when I got mine, I was like, oof. Like, it was just like, I have a place that I can just go to and call home if need be. And it's empowering. Let's see. They currently have a property manager. All right, visited in August, working on additional digital work to move. Excellent, excellent. Listen, this money situation is like serious. For the Black women that are on here, Exodus Summit just took place this weekend. I think it's wrapping up tonight. And the topic for the second time, at least the second time, was move abroad money. And it's basically how to get the money to move abroad, how to get money to stay abroad, and diversifying and learning about your income, having your money make money for you. And it is so important. I cannot stress it enough. For those of us who are not retired, and even if you are retired, something can happen. You could get into an accident, you have a stroke, whatever it is, you may be paying out of pocket for these medical bills. And this isn't to scare anyone, but this is the point of like really planning. Plan, plan, plan. Someone in my building makes these emergency cards, which I love the idea. Susie Orman used to do them. I'm dating myself. Am I dating myself? So I used to watch Susie Orman all the time. And there was a card when you purchased her kit that you would put in your wallet. And it was basically who your emergency contacts were. So someone in my building created something similar, and it's your blood type, your cedula number, which is like your equivalent, I guess, social security number for Panama. Your name, if you want who your doctor is, and who your emergency contact is here in Panama, and who it is back home. So I have one for 2 wallets, and also a little placard that goes right next to my front door, just in case they need to break down the door or come in and help. The information, if I can't speak, the information is right next to the door. So these are the types of things when I'm saying planning. It doesn't just stop when you get here. You also have to plan for how you're living here, how your emergencies are going to take place here. What happens if you pass away here? Who knows who you're supposed to contact? Are you being cremated here? Do you want to be sent back home? There are a lot of things that a lot of people don't think about or don't have in place when they move here. Still fact finding. I just turned 50. Congrats. Awesome. So are you just looking at Panama, or are you looking at other countries as well? So for those of you that are new to my channel, I have permanent residency in Panama, and I have citizenship by descent in Jamaica. And one of the reasons why I ended up getting citizenship in Jamaica was, 1, it was a birthright, and 2, I believe you should always have a plan A, B, C, and D. And if you are entitled to something as a birthright, just get it. Just get it. It doesn't, as long as it doesn't have tax implications or anything, just get it. Because I have friends that are scrambling now, trying to get citizenship via a grandparent, and realizing that grandparent didn't have citizenship, or they didn't go back and get it, or someone's parent didn't do it. And it's kind of if you have ancestry in another country and you are able to get it for your children, even if you don't see the value of it for yourself, future generations might see the value in that, and it just makes it easier for them. If I'm trying to get citizenship in Senegal, where my dad is from, he passed away when I was younger. Senegal's we need his birth record or his passport. And I was like, birth record from 1943 in a fisherman's village? I don't have that. And I don't have his passport. So a family member's trying to help me. But again, if you just have ancestry in another country and you're able to get citizenship for yourself and or your children, I implore you, just do it. It gives you more options. I feel we always try to plan or help the next generation to give them a better life, and people, whether it's education, leaving them some money. But for some reason, we get stuck and programmed that once you reach the US, or having the US passport is the golden ticket. There were places on my 50th birthday trip that I used my Jamaican passport because I didn't have to pay for the visa and my American friends did. Go figure. All right, let's see. I'll be there to scout end of November for 9 days. We'll be moving there in February. Oh, nice, nice. All right. Oop, it's just jumped up. Okay, good. So this this seems to vary from person to person, and it kind of depends on who you get. Waiting for a motorcycle to go by. Can you hear them? Um, in general, so this is something that I think is important. Like we're moving here willy nilly, blah 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 blah, and many people, I would say 95% of the people I knew did not know about this law or didn't know it was enforced, right? So it's a law that, for those of you that don't know, Panama started to enforce a law that had been on the books, I think, from 2008. I made a video on it where you have to notify immigration anytime you move, and you have to notify them of your new address within, I think, 30 days of moving. So there was a mad dash of people going to immigration, and your first offense is a $100 fine. And then there was a lot of confusion on how, like, what do you need to bring? So you were told you have to bring your notarized lease. Some people were told they had to bring their notarized lease and a copy of your electric bill. Then some other people were told they needed a copy of the owner's cedula or passport. It varied from person to person. So it varies. I think, as speaking from someone from the United States, when we hear immigration fine, we're like, right now people are getting kicked out of the US, right, for doing something wrong. So a lot of people were like, wait, what? But I don't know why Panama started enforcing this. A lot of people are moving here, a lot. So it's just something we just have to do. So every time you move, just plan to go to immigration and just update it, and you'll be fine. Some people have their attorneys do it for them. All right, how do you find out about events hosted by Black expats? Okay, so there are a couple of things. So joining different Facebook and WhatsApp groups. So there are a lot of events held by Black expats in Panama. So Black expats in Panama is a relocation company, and they host a ton of events. So join their Facebook group. When you get here, there are some WhatsApp groups that people can add you to that are for people who just live here. I think them Butlers have a WhatsApp group as well. They were on another video. You can look at the description for that video. They do a lot of events or host a lot of events. I don't necessarily know that theirs are just for Black expats, but that's how you can start. All right. The city mostly, maybe close Pacific beach towns, Gorgona. Okay. So it was funny when I was scouting, or before I came to scout, I was like, I think I'm gonna move. I think I'm gonna like Gorgona, Coronado. Then I was like, I might like Boquete, because everyone was talking about Boquete, Boquete, Boquete. And it was literally like when I got to Boquete, I had a nervous breakdown. I was like, oh God, is Panama not for me? Did I make a mistake? Did I just spend all this money to come here? Because I knew within like an hour I was not going to live in Boquete. And I was like, well, everyone's like raving about this town, and it's gorgeous, it's tranquil, it's beautiful. It just wasn't for me. And I was like, I was so glad I went to other parts of the country during my scouting trip. So like each time I left a different area, I was like, okay, I like that better, or I like this. So yeah, I'm glad you're gonna scout more than one area. All right, visit number 1 to apply for the Nice, nice. Then I agree. I'm looking for remote work to move from the DMV to Panama. Okay. So, question, because it's kind of scary. Did I skip around? Oh no. All right. It's kind of scary going from like a 9 to 5 employee to doing consulting or doing remote work or like becoming an entrepreneur. And it's like this programming where you're used to getting that specific amount of money every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever your pay period was. And then you move and you're like, okay, how does this remote work work? Does it work? Is it going to last? Right? Some remote work can end, and then what? So I think the more options you have, or more sources of income coming in, if you're not retired or don't have a pension, the better. So yeah, that getting that remote work before you get here is a good move. Saving for the Friendly Nations visa. Okay. So I came in the Friendly Nations visa, and when I came in, it was $5,000. And this is not to like create any fear, but it is kind of to let you know things can change. So it was $5,000. We just had to open up a bank account, create a corporation, blah, 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 blah. Then within a couple of months, they changed it to, it was like $200,000. And you had to invest in property or some other things. So it just, like, that's a change overnight. And that's why I say it is a privilege to be able to get residency in another country. They don't have to let us in. They don't have to. And it's almost getting harder and harder worldwide. People are getting pickier, might be changing entry requirements. So I'm glad a lot of you guys are planning. I'm glad a lot of you already have your scouting trips planned. People are saving, trying to determine their remote work. Thank you. Yeah, my job didn't want me to. I knew I couldn't work remotely from my old job, and I'm kind of glad. Not kind of. I'm glad because I would not have enjoyed my life here. I wouldn't have enjoyed my life here. So yeah, it's. I feel like our jobs kind of hold us hostage. And it's not always a bad thing, but it limits our freedom, right? They limit our freedom. And I understand there are different reasons why they don't want us working remotely, security reasons, tax reasons, but it's frustrating. All right. I think, yes, I got my gym. How long did that take? It was, okay, so let me see. I went to Nassau. So I did it through the consulate in Nassau, Bahamas. So I think I started the process in November, and I pretty much had it by March. And that is for citizenship. The passport, after I got the citizenship, and there was a mix up, they lost some of my paperwork. And I also I had to reorder my grandfather's birth record because the one I had was like paper and it was on its last leg and it was falling apart. So I had to reorder one, an updated one. And then once I got my citizenship, it didn't take long at all. It really didn't. And they were able to send it from the consul in Nassau to FedEx here in Panama. I have not. It's on my list. A lot of people have been asking me to. What's it? Sorry, I'm going to look at what else is in that area. Um, uh, no, I have not. I've heard it's gorgeous. Um, if I go there, I'll make a video. It might come out a year later, but I will make one. But I haven't been out there yet. My travels in Panama have kind of stopped. I was doing a lot. Sorry, I'm just looking at the sun setting and looking at the clouds. I get distracted easily. It's really pretty. I was doing a lot in Panama, and then I was like, I just need to stop and I need to get that content out. It takes me so long to edit that I need to create a new system because editing is holding me back from releasing some of this content and also wanting to explore more. So let's see. Are there any other questions or topics? What topics do you guys want me to discuss for like the next live? I have some ideas, but if there's something that you want to discuss or want to learn about, put it in the chat. Okay, so Cali girl, all right, she did a video. Can you link the video? Nope. I have not visited this. Can you put a link in the chat or do I have to do it? We'll figure that out. All right, someone said, no. So at the time, I don't know if she's still here. There was an honorary council for Jamaica here, but I had trouble getting in contact with her, and I was like, well, NASA's like a second home to me, so I had friends there, so I just went there. That council was extremely responsive. So it was just a plane ticket. I wasn't paying for housing. I wasn't paying for transportation. So I made a couple of vacations out of it. Now you were born in Jamaica. You can do it through if you have your proof that you were born in Jamaica. You don't have to, can you explain this? Can you go back? Can you write? So you were born in Jamaica, U.S. citizen, and you do not have Jamaican citizenship. Can you explain that to me before I answer this question? Cali girl, are you still here? So let me see if I can find your video. Hold on. One second, guys. See if I can find her video. Found it. Let's hope I can do it. All right, hold on. All right, so I posted Cali Girl's video for the Cero Azul. So no, I have not visited here. All right, came over as a child with my parents, naturalized in the U.S., but my parents didn't have any records, passports. Oh, okay. So you're gonna have to contact PICA, their website. I'm going to put it in here. PICA. Lord, what does it stand for? It's the passport, immigration, something, citizenship. I don't know. I'm making it up. Contact PICA online, and they will have steps for you for getting your, seeing if they have your birth record. And they're pretty good with the records. And then they'll tell you what the steps are for getting your passport. And I'm pretty sure you can also get it through the US. You don't necessarily have to go to Jamaica to get it. All right. Are there any other questions or comments? The live on Saturday will probably be much longer because I will have a structured discussion. All right, your hero is Tuesday. Thank you. So actually, so my hair, look, I'm a Leo, so the main. This is like a week-old blowout, and I actually don't like it anymore. So thank you. I was hesitant. I was like, should I do my hair? So I go to a Dominican hair salon. There are no chemicals. So she blows it out with the round brush, and then it usually lasts. I don't do my own hair. I couldn't do this if I tried. The only time I do my hair is when you see it wavy. I do twist out. The humidity, yeah, no, the humidity is bad. Let me see. See which side? This side, see it's starting to puff? Yeah. The humidity is horrible here, but I lived in Houston. It was bad there, but it's worse here. I think my hair is heat trained, but it's just something you're just going to have to figure out. I came with a lot of hair products when I was moving, and I still have a bunch of it because it doesn't work on my hair here. Oh, it's getting dark, y'all. Hold on. Let me turn on the light. Hold on one second. I hope the light works. It's been forever. Okay. Okay. Salons, kitchen counter, hairdressers. Yeah, so when I get my hair braided, she has her own hair salon, but she'll also come to the house. Dominican hairstylist when I want it straightened, and other than that, I'll wash and do twist outs. Thank you. I'm all late. Who does their anniversary late? Me. All right. Yes. So the Panamanian Balboa is their currency. They just also use the US dollar. So Panama does not print their own money. Literally, you go to the bank, they will give you US paper dollars. They mint their own coins. So you'll get coins back, which are called Balboas. And they're the same denominations as the US and the same size. And you can get them confused. So, yeah. And let me wait for the truck. Can you hear the truck? Okay. And I think Panama gets minted in maybe Canada. I don't want to lie. And kind of, I don't know if they have to use the US dollar. They do. That's something I'd have to look into. But it's called the Balboa. How much does it cost to get a visa to live and work in Panama? Okay, so I am not a relocation specialist. I should have said that in the beginning, and I do not keep track of all fees. So it would vary on what visa you're trying to obtain, right? The cost for the Friendly Nations visa might be different than the cost for the Pensionado visa. I don't know what the fees are for different visas. And are you asking what the cost is for an attorney or what the cost is to actually obtain that visa? Like if you're investing. If you can specify the question, not that I may not know the answer, someone in the chat may know the answer, but that's really a question that you really should ask an attorney. Also, as a hairstylist, do the Dominicans have? No, they don't have a lock. There are plenty of hairstylists here, all faces and races. You can find them. Even, oh gosh, what is the name of their place? Anyway, someone at the end of Balboa, I think he's an African American male, opened up a black hair beauty salon. He saw a need and created it. So again, you can create a space for what you do here as long as it follows the immigration rules. So there are certain protected professions here. Can you all hear this? No one's saying that. There are some professions here that are protected, like engineering, doctor, lawyer, attorney, maybe accountant. So you would have to look to see what you qualify. What is the best bank there? It varies. I think what has been easier for people to open up is Banismo. Let me type it in the chat. Banismo. So I would say, and I don't know if I spelled it correctly, but that has been the most friendly towards foreigners for opening up bank accounts. And then once a lot of people get here, they'll use like Banco General. People use various type of banks. I think Banco General uses Yapi, and Yapi is kind of like a PayPal or what's another payment? Cash App type-ish money transactional app that is like all over Panama. So people are like, you can pay by Yapi, you can pay by Yapi, but not every bank that I know of allows Yapi. You're welcome. You're welcome. Research your attorneys, okay? Ask around, look at their reviews, research your attorneys. All right, someone said the cost for the Friendly Nations visa is about $3,000 total. Actual government fees are just over $1,000. Okay. And again, this is going to vary from attorney to attorney, law firm to law firm. Okay, so Cali Girl, there are a few work visa options that she knows: digital nomad, U.S. work visa, along with Friendly Nations. Okay. Yeah, you guys, I really am not a relocation specialist. And I don't want to be. I do not want to keep track of all the laws, the changes. I don't. But I just like to provide information to help and to let you know what it's like living here and to kind of like hold your hand and just show how beautiful Panama is. There are a lot of people who have relocation companies here, a lot of people that will guide you through the whole process. You can do it by yourself. Like I took a private relocation tour. Other people, oh, Cali Girl, you just did a video on this. Other people have taken relocation tours with big groups of people. Some people come by themselves. Just do what's right for you, but whatever you do research. All right. Have you met a good number of expats who have left Panama after moving there permanently? What are the main reasons? So how many have I met? I personally know of at least 3. 2 of them were medical reasons. One was a medical reason for their daughter, and the other one was a medical reason. I don't know what it was. In both instances, they didn't want to go back. Then Cali Girl, who's in the chat, ended up going back. She did 1 or 2 videos on why she went back. So people have left because of medical reasons, changes in how their remote work was set up. It was more expensive than they thought. There are some people that are planning on leaving because it doesn't quite fit the vibe that they want right now. Panama isn't for everyone. Who else is left? There's some people that were like, I want to stay in Panama for now, and they had no intention of spending the rest of their life here, and they want to move on to another country. I don't even remember all of the November holidays. Can you help me out? November is no joke. Sorry, I have to go to Google. What are all the November holidays? Let me Google it. Okay. All right. Lord, here we go. All right, so there, November 3rd, Separation Day, November 4th, Flag Day, November 5th, Cologne Day, November 10th, Los Santos Uprising Day, November 28th, Independence Day. I'm sure there's more, but how many is that in November? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There might be more. Yeah, it's just the holiday season. And the holiday season in Panama, things shut down. If you can avoid coming here in Panama in November or around any holiday season to do like visa stuff, avoid it because it's not going to get done. It'll be very hard to get stuff done anytime there's a holiday or holiday season here. How is the medical services there? It's very good. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised at the medical care here. I feel like you're treated more like a human. Doctors spend more time with you. They actually like listen. You don't feel like you're a number and being like rushed out. I have my primary physician's WhatsApp, and I'll message him on a Sunday, even though I hate it. He'll respond. He might even check in with me if he knows that I wasn't feeling well. I don't have to make an appointment for like a follow-up. Sometimes if I just need a prescription, he'll send it in WhatsApp or just tell me what to get and I can go to the pharmacy. A lot of things that you might have needed a prescription for in the US, you don't need in Panama unless it's like a controlled medicine. And I feel like I get better care here than I did in the US. I do. And I don't have health insurance yet. And I've been here for 3 years, so I pay out of pocket. For example, for the women in the group, and you can tell me if you think this is good or bad. I was quoted, hold on, $155. I have to put it in Google Translate because I'm going to mess this up. I was quoted $155 for a gynecological checkup that include the consultation, physical exam, medical history, pap smear, ultrasound, and whatever else. So I'm getting blood work before I go so that they can discuss it with me while I'm there. But all of that for $155 private, and I don't have insurance. I don't think that's bad. Are there places that are cheaper than that? Yes. Are there ones that are more expensive? Yes. But if I didn't have insurance in the US and tried to get all of that done, how much would that be? And I would have to wait a long time to get the care. So I just messed with them today. I have an appointment for Thursday. In the US, I might have to wait months. All right. She said they party. This is that. What was that song? No Sleep Till Brooklyn. They don't sleep when they party. I don't know how they do it. That part of the DNA didn't end up in my blood. It didn't. I need to go to sleep. Let me go to sleep. All right. How? All right. What's the Brooks channel? So literally, this was the people I did the interview with today. There's a whole video coming out on this topic. So let me put their YouTube in the chat. But in general, I think it depends on you and your expectations. It can be hard with the language barrier. Sorry, I'm looking for the other channel. It can be hard. Like, are you fluent in Spanish? Are you okay dating someone if you don't speak the language? Sorry, let me put their channel in here. So Glenn and Cherie Brooks, we did an interview on their channel and also on my channel. So subscribe and you will see the interview where I talk about dating here. But all right, there's a follow-up question. When dating locals, how do you make sure they're not just after your money? I think that's like anywhere. You will get a sense. You'll get a sense. Like, are they asking to borrow money? Are they like trying to move in right away? Are they asking you a lot of financial questions? Are they paying for things or are they expecting you to pay for things? I think you'll find out quickly. I think for a lot of people, there is an income, there's such a gap in income here. It can be a deal breaker for some, but I think you just have to have an open mind. I'm not afraid that like locals are after my money. And when we say locals, you may not be dating a Panamanian. They could be they can be Colombian, they can be Venezuelan, there are a whole lot of people here from other countries. So how can you tell they're not after your money from where you're from? And I think you just apply the same thing here, if that makes sense. But I think it would present itself quickly. Oop, these comments are coming in. I'm losing track. All right, so I think this is going back to the healthcare. Yep. How is my Spanish after 3 years? Yo pienso que yo hablo. Okay, let me see. How do I want to say this? So they asked me this question on a scale of 1 to 10, how I thought my Spanish was. And I said maybe a 4 or 5. And my friend was like, no, he was like, it's an 8. And I was like, an 8? He's like, no, your Spanish is good. I think my Spanish is better now because I feel more comfortable having conversations. Even if I'm messing it up, I don't care. I'll start a sentence. I'll throw in an English word. I'll use another 2 words or 5 words to describe one. I feel more comfortable speaking in Spanish now than I did when I first moved here. But I'm still, and the reason why I said 4 or 5 is I'm still speaking in present tense. I cannot say I'm going to, or I cannot say I did. I don't know the past tense. I don't know the future. I'm just lazy. I'm quite comfortable in my present tense with Spanish, pero yo hablo mucho español. Cada día yo practicar mi español. I think I have the accent down. I can speak quickly, but if I get tripped up because I'll start talking to someone and they're like, oh, she speaks Spanish. And then they're like, and I'm like, just kidding. Yo hablo Spanglish. And then they laugh. So they know to slow it down. But I think my Spanish is good enough now where people will start to really just let the words flow. And I'm like, I'll get like maybe out of 10 words that they say, I might get 6 of them. But that came with a lot of intentional learning. So their channel is the one where we just recorded me moving here, being single and dating in Panama. They're pretty quick with turning out their videos, so I would expect it in the next week or so. What do you suggest for a 4-month scouting trip to begin in December 2025? I need more details. So it's hard for me to answer this without knowing you, but a general scouting trip, 4 months. Ooh, that's good. Um, I would say no. Sometimes I'm like, know what you're looking for, but sometimes you don't know it until you're in it, right? So I would definitely try to see all the major. See, this is why it's hard to answer this without knowing what you're looking for. Do you want to be around expats? Do you want to be around more Panamanians? Do you want city? Do you want quiet? It's hard to answer that, but in general, like a lot of people look at Boquete, Pedasí, Coronado, Gorgona, El Valle, Panama City. Some people are starting to go towards like Arihan. Um, a lot of what's it, Costa Verde. There are like a lot of places. Do you want suburbs? What is it? Panama Pacifico. Yeah, like do you want suburbs of the city? Do you want country living? I would try to see as much as you can to see what you like. I would suggest staying in Airbnbs if you can, not just hotels, so you know what it's like going shopping. You know what it's like living instead of touristing. Does that make sense? And Mayberry, please follow up with that question. I don't know if I answered it well enough, but I need a more context um, about you. All right. As a permanent resident, do you have the option to use? Yeah, there are people that have used the public healthcare system. You might be waiting longer. I haven't. I haven't used it. Um, what is her name? I think there's a YouTuber, and I think she lives in El Valle now. Patty Blue Hayes. Let me see. I think she made a video on. Hold on, you guys. I need water. My voice is changing. She did a video on public health care. I think she had surgery or an emergency. Hold on. Let me see. Patty. Yeah, Patty Blue Hayes. Videos. I'm pretty sure it was her. Hold on one second. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see this. She did My Surgery Story, Public Hospital in Panama. So look at this video. I think she did she do more than one? She did that one. I feel like she did more than one. So she can speak to that. I'm interested in a slower pace of life than Panama City, Volcan. I have not been there, but it's popular. That's another popular area. It's popular. It's popular. I don't know if anyone that moved there and then left. Yeah, it's popular. So I think there's a place for, I feel like you can find your spot in Panama, right? A lot of people will ask, what is it like there? Where should I move? Or it's a big country, right? You can find your piece of paradise wherever you are in the country. It just depends on what you're looking for and what you're willing to, I don't want to say put up with, but put up with, right? So I like the view of Avenida Balboa. I have to put up with traffic noise, or I have to put up with noise from protests or races that may start. When I say races, like bike races or marathons that might start or end in a parking lot across the street from me. Further out of the city, you might be dealing with more power outages or issues with XYZ that I may not have to deal with in the city or living in a high rise, right? Living in a house versus an apartment building is drastically different. So I think your life depends on where you are, but you have to understand what it's like to really live in those areas. and what you're willing to get used to. Yes, very good place, very good place. There's a growing community in Punta Pacifica, and I'm glad you said that. I did a video on there, on that area. I think I did Howard, and there was another one I did. It was like I did suburbs of Panama City, and that was in there. They're getting their little community together. They're going out. More people are moving there. It's very, very kid friendly. They have a lot of international schools there. So thank you for bringing that one up. That's a good one. Um, yeah, man. I have to represent. I have to look. People laugh at me, but like I represent. Where's this one? Oh, it's this hand. Okay. I represent. I always have. I always have. In the U.S., I did as well. I was brought up to be proud of where I'm from and not to be ashamed of it. And I rep it. There was growing up in the U.S. There were some times I would get like negative comments. Why are you proud to be from such a small country? Or why are you proud to be blah, blah, blah? I'm proud. I remember once in my private boarding school, when the teacher found out from Senegal, his first comment was, "Oh, you must have families that were slaves." In his head, that was the only thing my family could have been. Not doctors, not lawyers, just that was it. So I always rep where I'm from. Um, the irony was the slavery was on my Jamaican side, not the Senegalese side. I don't know this area. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. If I make it out there, like any other area, I will do a video on it, but I haven't made it out there. Cali girl, if you're still here, I know it's been like an hour. If you've been out there, let me know. How easy is it to meet people from Panama or other expats other than US expats? I think this depends on you. I think it's very easy. Um, they're everywhere. It's just, I think it depends on how outgoing you are, what types of events you're going to. Like, I see a bunch of people, like, are they even out there yet? Like, there are people that go bike riding together. There are people that do Zumba together. There are people that do pickleball. And within that, there might be a mix of Panamanians or Colombians or whoever with Americans. It might just be Americans. There's a hodgepodge of like communities here that you can navigate into. And I just think it depends on you and how outgoing you are. But it's I think it can be very, very easy. People here are very friendly, very friendly. No, it is absolutely possible. Absolutely. And I think typically, do I have friends that are renting houses in the city? I've looked at some, I had friends that were looking at houses. They didn't end up renting those, but yeah, you can rent them. It's very possible. Um, I think what ends up happening is, as a landing spot, it's easier and more comfortable for us to rent in an apartment building, right? Like for me, I felt safer being in an apartment building. It could be because I'm from Manhattan, but moving to a country, that was my comfort zone. I would not have felt comfortable moving here as a single woman and moving into a house. For me, I would not have felt comfortable doing that. But a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. So yes, absolutely. Um, I don't know. I think someone had mentioned, let me scroll back up. Where was it? I think, where was it? Well, this was for the friendly nations. Um, did you say what visa it was? Yeah, so I think the immigration fees might depend on the type of visa you're getting. I could be wrong, but it might depend on the type of visa you're getting. Um, all right, I didn't do tons of exploring, but I checked out a few spots. Okay. Um, retirement. So the pensionado. Okay. I think those are usually under, I wonder if anyone has it listed. Um, I don't know. I might have to circle back for that one because I didn't come in on that visa, but I've seen, I don't think it's more than $2,000, but don't quote me. Research different entities because they will have different fees. One attorney might charge 1,000, another one might charge 10,000. I'm not saying these are the amounts, but I'm just giving you examples. So research different attorneys, and you will see there will be different prices. And it doesn't mean you're getting better service or one's better than the other. That's just what they're charging. But do your research on that attorney or that firm. Please, please, please do your research. I cannot stress that enough. Especially with a lot of people coming, these attorneys are being bombarded. And some might be like, oh, I can get you citizen, I can get you residency, blah, 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 yeah, blah. And then you spent thousands of dollars and you don't have your residency. Okay. Yes, there are a ton of opportunities to volunteer. I do a lot of volunteering. I just don't post about it. There is a website. Oh Lord. All right, hold on. Let me snap. You're making me work. There's a website that lists different volunteer opportunities. Hold on, let me see. Boy. What's her name? Hold on. I remember asking. All right. So how do I send this? It was a Google Doc. All right. So someone has sent me a Google Doc for different ways you can volunteer, but there are absolutely a ton of ways. People volunteer with animals. They volunteer at shelters. They volunteer. We've done toy drives. People volunteer during the holidays. People have volunteered to bring kids to a water park. There are a trillion ways to volunteer. People volunteer to pick up trash. Yes, thank you. Okay. So y'all, I didn't think we were gonna make an hour. I was ready to shut this down a half an hour ago. My voice is starting to go. But I will do another live Saturday, and hopefully I will see you guys there. And no one put any topics that they want, so you guys are going to be stuck with whatever topic I come up with for the next live. Anyway, gracias for all of you guys that have tuned in. I realized I didn't introduce myself. I just started talking. So for those of you that are new or watching from the future and that are still an hour into this video, my name is Aisha. I travel the world with cerebral palsy. I moved to Panama 3 years ago, and I left the US at age 46. I quit my job as a utility director for a 1-year sabbatical, and it has turned into 3. So I love to discuss my life here in Panama, travel with disability, and dual citizenship. So thank you. Have a good night, and I will see you guys on Saturday. Adios.